you may not be with the same company forever. Being successful in human resources means a lot to a lot of people. But how do you really gauge your success rate when it comes to your chosen career path and whether or not you're making progress and you're reaching the heights where you want to reach or where you feel as if you should be within a certain given time frame of your career? So let's talk about success in human resources and what that actually looks like, and what are the steps that you need to take, or what are some of the things that you need to be doing in order to be successful. Number one is understand that you're not going to know everything when it comes to human resources. There's new laws, legislations, things like that are always changing. There's a new Pump Act. There's minimum wage that's going up in a lot of states at the beginning of every year and staggered out throughout the year. Minimum wage is changing in September and October in some states. There's also emergency leave and different things like that that you have to be aware of. So you have to understand that you are always going to be growing. You're always going to be learning. So it's critical to not be too hard on yourself when you don't know everything. Another thing to consider is your communication skills. Having really good communication skills as a human resources person is critical because you're going to be communicating with different people within different levels of the company. The employees are one level, managers are kind of the mid-level, and then your C-suite are your upper high level. Figuring out some of the things that they require and the types of communication that makes them a little bit more receptive to the things that you are saying to them is critical, and that leads to the interpersonal skills that you need to have in order to communicate effectively with people. And interpersonal skills is something that allows you to get to know a person on a genuine level instead of what you're trying to get out of them, what it is that you're trying to win from them. Interpersonal skills comes with time. It's not a skill that all of us are actually born with, but being able to be personable and trustworthy are critical for the human resources professional to continue growing. Being business savvy is another critical component to the success of your career because you're not just working for a company. You need to understand what makes that company tick. What are their goals? What are their objectives? What do they want to do each quarter? How much progress, how much profit, how many employees they want to bring in on a quarterly, annually basis? You need to get to the bottom of that stuff, and that goes back to your communication skills, being able to reach out and connect with different levels of the organization to figure out exactly what it is the company needs from you as an HR pro in order to drive the organization to the next level where they want to go. Analytical skills is another one because being able to collect data and create the dashboards and really analyze that data is very important. Why? Because you're going to be presenting that information to the C-suite and to your managers to help them have a better feel, more visibility as to what is going on in the organization. You're kind of at ground zero, or you're kind of like in the middle, in between the employees and the business, trying to figure out where's that happy medium. How can the employees perform better? How can the employees help the company reach their goals and drive that organization to that next level? As I mentioned before, you want to be able to analyze that data and assist them with that clarity. Based on the information and the data that you share with them, they can make better decisions and better projections for the future of the organization. So the data that you collect, they will use that information to determine whether or not they need to hire more employees, if they need to let go of some employees, whether or not some of those positions are just kind of not really generating a whole lot of profit, and how they can potentially move employees into a different department so they can maximize their return on investment of the employees. Having a growth mindset and understanding that you're not going to know absolutely everything when it comes to your job. You have to understand that you should join some associations, read as much as you possibly can, subscribe to magazines, and really grow and understand what is going on in this industry. Because again, you're not going to know everything, and do not be too hard on yourself when you don't know everything. And so having that growth mindset is going to help you say, hey, I'm here. I would like to be here, but these are the steps that I need to take. These are the classes, the courses, the different types of trainings that you have to be a part of in order to grow in a better understanding for your role. Build a strong network, because again, you're not always going to be with the same company. The odds are people will be changing companies throughout their career, at minimum 5 different companies. So whatever company you started your career out with, you may not be with them throughout the entire duration of your career. Why is that? Because not all organizations have much room for growth within the HR field. So you may hit a ceiling to where you cap out at HR coordinator, and there's no other upward movement within the organization. If you ever want to become an HR director or VP, you're going to have to move on to another company in order to achieve that. And that is just, a hard pill to swallow, but that is the way that it is. And this affects not only the HR profession, but it affects every profession that's out there. So understand that your network is critical, whether you are with your local HR chapter, SHRM chapter, student chapter, anything like that. Make sure that you're out there networking as much as possible, because when you reach the top of where you are right now, you're going to have to pivot, you're going to have to move in order to get to where you want to go within your career. So tell me, I would like for you to share some of your experiences with upwards movement, how you get the education and training that you need for your job, and how you feel as if you have been successful as an HR professional. Leave those comments below. That's it for me in this video. If you like what you've heard, click subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.